temple, Krishna would protect their investing. When Prabhupada learned they had secured a series of public lecture that would commit him to 3 months in London, he smiled. He would be glad to stay and preach in England, he said, for as long as it took to open the London Centre.
Prabhupada commented his 6 London pioneers on succeeding where his sannyasi god brothers had failed. He told them that because they had chanted Hare Krishna with faith, they had succeeded. They were not great scholars or ancients, yet they had faith in the holy name and the order of their spiritual master. Prabhupada said that he also was not a great scholar, but that he had such faith, the real requirement for spiritual success.
He also was not a great scholar, but that he had staunch faith. The real requirement for spiritual success. So, if we are successful in spiritual life, you have a very strong faith. If faith is strong, then we can achieve anything. So this again, so in this Lilamrita, you'll see, many places, some like in a school, we used to underline, some lines, so these are very important lines.
A devotee could go to many places and accomplish many things, Prabhupada said, but unless he was free of material motives, he would not be able to implant the seed of bhakti into the hearts of others. Prabhupada cited Shivananda, who had gone alone to Hamburg and tried his best with faith in his spiritual master. Now Krishna was blessing Shivananda with a little success, a storefront temple, newly recruited devotees, an interested professor, and other guests coming and chanting. Even one lone preacher could accomplish many things for Krishna, provided the preacher was free from sense gratification and the desire for profit, adoration, and distinction.
Another, even one lone preacher could accomplish many things for Krishna, provided the preacher was free from sense gratification and the desire for profit, adoration, and distinction. So if we are selfless, we do not want profit for ourselves, our own respect, our own glorification and distinction, and we are free from sense gratification, then anybody can achieve anything in the world, especially spiritually. Anybody can open temple or create, get more devotees in a temple. So these are the requirements. So we are all exclusive team here. So we have to follow this.
Srila Prabhupada rose early, about 1 a.m., and began dictating his latest books, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna began in Los Angeles 8 months before, was a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam's 10th canto. Starting in 1959 with the first canto, Prabhupada had been translating each successive verse, giving a Roman transliterations, Sanskrit to English synonyms, the English translation, and then his commentary. Krishna, however, was all in English, with translations and commentary blended together as transcendental stories.
He traveled from America, he came to London, he got down in the morning, he went to a very strange place, not his own house. He made throughout the day many guests, took some rest, and 1 o'clock translating books. 1 o'clock. Generally when we travel, we take 2-3 days off, relaxing. No relaxation. Prabhupada never wasted a single minute. So 1 o'clock we will get up and start translating the Krishna book. We have the Krishna book in shop now, very beautiful book. If you don't have, get one. And read this Krishna book, the stories of Krishna. So Prabhupada tirelessly, he translated these books for us. So we couldn't read. Yeah? So, early in the morning, 1 o'clock. So, then you'll see more of his schedule. 1 o'clock, then you'll not sleep after that few hours. Until 4 o'clock or something, he will translate, he'll chant his round, he'll go for a walk, and then come back and then if he's in temple, then he'll give class. Otherwise, meet guests. So he'll never, he will hardly sleep. Maximum 3 or 4 hours in a day, not more than that. Even less than that sometimes. But throughout the day, he was just busy, helping people around the world.
But Guruji, how they are getting this energy, like this kind of dedication, this kind of energy, means where they are getting this kind of energy? Actually, the thing is this: how they are sleeping only 3-4 hours, and they have that kind of energy to do everything, and even they don't have a time to blink. Like 1 o'clock, they have to wake up, translate the things, then go for a walk. Whole day they have a busy schedule. Like this is this is not a normal person. Okay, if I'm comparing myself, I need a sleep like 7 to 8 hours as a human, which should not like.
Good question.
Yeah.
Desires make
Yeah.
unable to
You will answer.
Yeah.
There's two kinds of batteries that a human can have when they're doing any kind of task. For example, why do we work? We work because we have some fear that if I don't work, I don't have money. If I don't have money, then I can't do something. I can't live properly. I can't eat. I can't do things. So one person can be led by fear in everything that they do. I will do something because I'm fearful of my teacher slapping me if I don't do something. But that doesn't create actual motivation. The best kind of motivation is through love, not fear. So if a devotee or someone, they fear God, then they don't have that much motivation. They don't want to do it, but they have to. But if someone loves Krishna, you see how a mother loves their children. And you see how a mother can take care of their children. They'll sleep less hours. They'll work hard, but they'll be happy serving their child because they love the child. So where is the mother getting the energy to do this? From love. If we are doing things lovingly, same thing applies to us. If we are loving with Krishna, if we have some love for Krishna and we do everything for Krishna, serve Krishna with love, then naturally Krishna will give some energy to do that. So you see how Prabhupada, he loved Krishna. He wasn't doing it because he feared Krishna. If I don't do this, then Krishna will send me to hell. He didn't fear that. He said, I'll go to hell, I don't care. But I love Krishna. I will bring others to know about Krishna. I want Krishna to have more devotees because I love him. And because of this love, that's why he's sleeping 2 hours a day. That's why he's doing, he's traveling all over the world. And he has so much energy. And same thing with devotees. If devotees are sleeping 5, 6 hours, 4 hours sometimes. Why? Not because they're fearful, because they love Krishna. And if they don't love Krishna, in Krishna consciousness, the best access we have to Krishna is through a spiritual master, Guru. So Prabhupada is our founder acharya. He is our topmost Guru in ISKCON. After that, he can have a disciple and they can be our Guru. But our topmost disciple is a Guru for all of us who has not initiated is Prabhupada. So if we love Prabhupada, then also from that love we get some energy. So the love can be for the spiritual master, the Guru, or from Krishna. And that'll give energy. These disciples of Prabhupada, when Prabhupada said, I am coming to the country, I am coming to your center, the devotees would prepare and not sleep for months in advance and be preparing the entire temple, center, everything for Prabhupada. And by the time Prabhupada would come to the center, they would all be so tired that they'd be dropping to the floor like matchsticks. They'd be sleeping accidentally. But why? Because they love Prabhupada. And why they love Prabhupada? Because Prabhupada loved Krishna. So this whole movement is from love. Everything comes from love, not from fear. If you rule with fear, you'll get nothing accomplished. They say the leader that rules through fear who does not have control over the country, but the ruler who rules with love, compassion for their country, then they will rule very nicely. You know? Isn't it?
Ultimately, the whole movement, Hare Krishna movement is to help everyone, to revive that dormant love which is there in our heart for Krishna. That is only what is our mission. Our mission is to, not get a big temple and, big numbers and, we want everybody to be lover of Krishna. So Prabhupada here mentioned, that, peace, love, but you should know process. If you don't know the process, we can say love, but how love? How to love? So love means service, sacrifice.
It's also, I understand that it's not only passing Krishna, but how you should feel happy in the materialistic world as well.
Yes. So if you're loving Krishna, then loving means service also. How to serve Krishna? To serve Krishna, we should know what does Krishna want. If you don't know, if I want to serve Murli Prabhu, say I should know what does he like. Does he like idli or does he like roti? So you should try to understand. Similarly, mother, to show love for her child, my child likes blue color. She'll buy everything blue color. He likes this or she likes this. She'll always think about it. What does my child like? So devotee also says, what does Krishna like? So we do not have direct access to Krishna. But our Guru Parampara, they have direct access to Krishna. Because, so Prabhupada, his Guru is Bhakti Siddhanta Sri Thakur. You can see the Guru Parampara here. Prabhupada, then is Bhakti Siddhanta Sri Thakur, then Gaur Krishnadas Babaji, then Bhakti Vinod Thakur, then Jagannath Babaji, then there are few others, then there are 6 Goswamis, then there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then there is Ishwara Puri, Madhavendra Puri, then before that, Madhavacharya, Vyasadev, Narada Muni, and Krishna. So Narada Muni had direct access. So Narada Muni, then before him, Brahmaji. So Narad is a disciple of Brahmaji. Brahmaji is a disciple of Krishna directly. So all these Krishna's instruction, what does Krishna like? We get it through our Guru Parampara. What is my wealth? My son will know when he approaches me. Now how do you know my father's wealth? When I approach my father, and then from his father. So what does Krishna like? What does Krishna want? That instructions that comes from Guru Parampara. So we don't go Krishna directly. Krishna, what do you want? Rather we go to Guru. Say, Guru, please tell us, what does Krishna want? So yesterday's program we did, we mentioned about this one line. It says, Yasya prasadad bhagavad prasado, Yasya prasadad nagadi kutopi. That, if you please Guru, then Krishna is pleased. But if you can't please Guru, you can never please Krishna. So our all effort is to see how we can serve Prabhupada, how we can serve our Guru. And then he will instruct us, guide us. This is how we should do. This is how we should do. And that is authorized. We cannot just speculate. Oh, Krishna will like, this nice ambassador car. Or, Krishna will like this car. Because I like this car, so we buy this. So we should not speculate. We should ask the Guru, what does he want? And Guru's instruction comes 2 ways, Vapu and Vani. Vapu means physical. Those disciples were there. They physically met Prabhupada. Heard, got his darshan, direct instructions. Another is Vani. Vani is instructions, book. What he has written in the book. So it is Vani is more stronger than Vapu. Vani instructions is more stronger than. So right now we are accessing Prabhupada's Vani association. Prabhupada is physically dissipated from our vision. But still through his Vani, this center is here. Without his Vani, this would have never been here. So Vani is very, very powerful. So we can still access Prabhupada through his books. And then, now his disciples are there. Through him we can access. Anyway, it's a long answer. So ultimately it's the love. If you have love for Krishna, then we can achieve anything. Read more. Any other question? No? We can do discussion.
Only one I feel when I'm going through his books without any social platforms or nothing at the time, it's no, we can't predict how he worked hard for that.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And that too, he's 70. 1969, he was 70-year-old. More than 70.
But he will start at that time.
Yeah, and traveling, you traveled from India, how was it? Was it difficult? And he's traveling all over the world. He traveled, 13 times in 11 years around the world. Around the world, 13 times. One temple to the another temple to the another temple to other. 13 times in 11 years. Can you imagine? And then while traveling also, just going there and few hours of meeting and then taking rest. No, wherever he goes, people are there, asking questions, and he had to be alert all the time. Managing. That time he was the manager of the entire ISKCON. He had to manage the whole ISKCON. It's like a worldwide empire. And his disciples. Disciples are managing the temples, and these are not paid, CEOs. They are like, just joined temple few months back and says, you are temple president. He used to manage everything. And those days there was no internet, no WhatsApp, everything by letter. So every day he would spend about 1 hour in the morning, with his secretary. All the letters come, he'll write the answer to them. And then, I don't know how it network worked, Prabhupada after a few days in another temple. Then the letter all comes to that. I don't know how Prabhupada and his disciples managed it, but he was managing the whole ISKCON. In 11 years, Prabhupada established 108 temples around the world.
He's 108, he went 13 times.
Yeah, he went all the places, different places. Different countries, every continent of the world. All alone. When Prabhupada, in those days, mid-60s, mid-60s, the Indian, immigration was so strict. Even getting a passport was so difficult. And then you have to go out of the country, then you have to have some permissions, that ministry, that ministry. And he got all these things. Now he had no money to buy tickets. So, first of all, to get the visa was difficult, American visa. So he used to ask anybody, if you have relatives in India, please somebody can sponsor me. So he asked so many people. So one lucky gentleman, he asked his son in America at that time, that when Swami wants to come, sponsor his visa. And Prabhupada was, he asked so many people. Suddenly one day a letter came, so Prabhupada, your sponsor letter is here. You can go and collect your visa from the American embassy. So these are, so Krishna arranged all these things. Now he's got the visa. Now he had no money for the ticket. Those days, plane journey was so expensive. And he was sannyasi living in Vrindavan, and he had no money. So then,
At that age, taking oath to spread Krishna,
yeah.
it's like unpredictable how he started and without any like transportation and
So he came to Mumbai. There was a lady called Sumati Morarji. She was a big industrialist lady. She had her own steamer company, steamship company. And her ships would go to America regularly. So then Prabhupada went her and said, can you sponsor me, in one of your ships, can I go free? It's cargo ship, no, not like cruise, QE2, cargo ship. So this lady, she declined. Not out of that, she said, she was very loving Prabhupada. He says, Prabhupada, you're 70-year-old.
what you will do by the
You'll go there, it's a cold country. There is not even vegetarian food there. And you don't know there, this visa person is there, how long you'll stay in their house. And if you go there, you will die. And if you die there, no, that karma will come on me that, I sent you there. And this sadhu died because of me. So she was very fearful. She said, no, I cannot, Prabhupada, let you go. Prabhupada said, no, I want to go. This is my, why Prabhupada wanted to go? Not for, his glorification. His guru told him in 1921, when he first time, 1922, sorry, 22, when he first time met Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, you're a young boy. You should preach to the English-speaking world. So since that day, he was preparing, how can I preach in English-speaking countries? So 22, he was a grahastha, he does, very young family. So all these years, he was preparing. Then he retired, then before going to the West, he translated, 3 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then says, now is the right time to go. And then he had 2 heart attacks. He boarded at Calcutta, then came to Colombo, then Cochin, then from there it left to, America. And Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks. In the, like, cargo ship, he just jumps here and there. And then finally, Prabhupada, he has a diary. There's one diary called, what is the diary name? Prabhupada diary naam suje? I forgot the name. Prabhupada's diary. He wrote the diary while in the journey. You should read that diary. Every day he will write, this is what happened, this is what happened. And for few days, he's just putting a line. Then Prabhupada later on, he said that, I was so weak during those days, I had only energy to just draw a line. And then he came to America, and then, he get down. The sponsor person, he just sent a kind of representative, some taxi person. Go and bring him. Didn't even come to personally. And then, Prabhupada went there, and then he was a, Indian man, married to a Western lady. And they had all, meats and, all those non-Vaishnava food in the fridge. And Prabhupada was living there. And Prabhupada, he tolerated all these things. Can you imagine somebody, a pure devotee, he was living in Vrindavan before. And somebody from Vrindavan going to this environment. And then, Prabhupada was a guest there, so he can't say, you don't eat cooked meat, I'm here, he's a gentleman. Gentleman will not make trouble for anybody else. So Prabhupada said, I'll cook for you. And you eat, but, I'll bring my grocery. So then, he cleaned the fridge, no meat. Then he'll bring his grocery. And then he'll cook for the whole family. And then many days he stayed like that. And then Prabhupada did some program there. Prabhupada said, this is not working out. I should go to. This was Prabhupada came into a place called Butler, which is in state called Pennsylvania. Nobody knows. Do you know anybody town called Butler in America? Very nondescript. Nobody knows it. Prabhupada says, this is not the place to preach. Then somehow, he came to New York again. He hardly knew anybody in New York, big city. So he was living with one hippie. What is hippie? All 4 relative principles they break every minute. These are hippies. So he lived in this hippie's house for many days. And one day this hippie, he got so drunk, drugs, whatever, he just came to his apartment and he chased Prabhupada with the knife. He just wanted to kill him. He just went crazy. Then Prabhupada had to run away from that place. And now all his belongings are in his apartment. He is on the street. He has nowhere to go. He doesn't know anybody. And this person is after his life. What will we do? He says, Krishna, this is what you do to me. I come here to spread your glory. This is what happens to me. Krishna does not exist. Prabhupada never complained. And then somehow he made contact with his, Mukund Maharaj. So he just met few, young boys. So he had number, says, can you help me? So, then says Prabhupada, even they were hippies. In those days everybody was hippie, but they were good hippie. So said Prabhupada, even we don't have money. Somehow these boys, they just called each other, says, gathered some money, and then they found a storefront in 26 2nd Avenue. So then they made a contract with the landlord and all. So the CPs, Prabhupada and all, even Prabhupada had no money. So it is said that they only had rent for 1 month. Next month what will happen, nobody knew. But somehow, they rented. Then Prabhupada, the storefront is there, and then behind there is some rooms are there. So Prabhupada will live there, and in the storefront, Prabhupada will give, 3 days in a week, he give class. And this is how it started. That temple, storefront, 26 2nd Avenue, it is still there. In America, if you ever go there, before visiting any temple, you should visit this place, 26 2nd Avenue. This is where ISKCON started. And if you, the place is called Matchless Gift. Yeah, the address is 26 2nd Avenue. If you go to New York, text Lexiwala, 26 2nd Avenue will take you there. So the place is still there. Used to be a shop. Actually, when the shop, before Prabhupada rented that place, there was one shop. The shop name was Matchless Gift. Prabhupada said, keep this board as it is. Because the gift that we are giving to world, it is matchless. Nobody can give this gift like we are giving. So keep this board. That board is still there. Matchless gifts. Like here, the platform was always there for Prabhupada's Vyasasan. Just used it. Some guest. Read some more or do Kirtan? Read some more? Okay. 10 minutes more reading, huh? Yeah. Okay. Kirtan karke prasad, that prasad. Okay.
Starting from here? Srila Prabhupada rose early, about 1 a.m., and began dictating his latest book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna began in Los Angeles 8 months before, was a summary of Srimad Bhagavatam's 10th canto. Starting in 1959 with the first canto, Prabhupada had been translating each successive verse, giving a Roman transliteration, Sanskrit to English synonyms, the English translation, and then his commentary. Krishna, however, was all in English, with translation and commentary blended. Together in transcendental stories. In his verse-by-verse translation of the Bhagavatam, Prabhupada was still working on the 3rd canto, so to reach the 10th canto could take many years. But he was uncertain how many years longer he would live, and the thought of passing away without giving the world an authorized, readable account of the 10th canto had been unbearable. Being the account of Lord Krishna's earthly pastimes, the 10th canto was the climax of Srimad Bhagavatam and the richest nectar of the transcendental literature. Now Prabhupada had enough manuscript pages to print a first volume, complete with the many color illustrations he had commissioned his artists to paint. To print such a book would be expensive, and Prabhupada had no money. But he depended fully on Krishna and translated quickly in the quiet of early morning. At 4:30, Prabhupada's secretary, Purushottam, entered followed by Yamuna Dasi. Purushottam offered arti to Prabhupada's small Radha Krishna deities, while Yamuna watched, eager to learn. Prabhupada sang prayers accompanying himself on the harmonium. During Prabhupada's Mangal Arti ceremony, the other dozen or so disciples assembled for their own Mangal Arti at the temple. As they walked the damp pathway to the temple, they felt the cold air and heard the bell and Prabhupada singing. They could see through the pre-dawn mist the light coming from Prabhupada's window on the 2nd floor, and the building looked like a lantern in the dark. The sound of the harmonium drifted mystically through the trees. Later that morning, some of the devotees brought Prabhupada several news articles about his London arrival. The daily sketch, with its headline, "Enter His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Bhaktivedanta Swami," carried a foot-high photo of Prabhupada playing kartals. The Sun's story, "Happiness is Hare Krishna," appeared with a photo of Prabhupada and the devotees, and the Daily Mirror showed Saraswati and one of the adult devotees. The Daily Telegraph, however, carried a different kind of article. Hindu temple protests. Conversion of office premises in Bloomsbury into a Hindu temple is being investigated by the Ministry of Public Buildings and Works. The article began. The devotees' neighbors at Bury Place had apparently complained about the renovation that had been going on for the past 2 weeks. The article quoted a Camden Council member. If their planning application is not granted, it will cost them a lot of money. In this place, Bury Place, it said, this is the first temple Prabhupada had set up in England, the first ever temple. Then after that, it was the Bhaktivedanta Mana. Soho Street was after Mana. Yeah. Then after that, it's our headquarters in the UK, Bhaktivedanta Mana. We visited for Rath Yatra time, everyone remembers. Prabhupada said the devotees should do everything they could to prevent delays or obstacles to their establishing the temple and installing deities of Radha and Krishna. He suggested they go daily into the city, work carefully and persistently with the officials, and secure the authorization. Meanwhile, Shyam Sundar should continue his remodeling work of Bury Place. You see this Bury Place place? Right now it is not under ISKCON's ownership. We don't have the place anymore, but the building is still there. Now it is they've turned it into some dentist, whoever the owner is. And all the architecture inside is still done by the devotees of Prabhupada. They didn't change much. So you can still visit today. Just get a dentist appointment at the Bury Place, and you can visit Prabhupada's first temple. For Prabhupada, such diplomatic and legal strategy was as spiritual as translating Krishna or singing before his deities. He was serious, heavy, and his disciples sensed this as he looked at them with full concentration, his intelligent gaze penetrating to see if they understand his directions. This heaviness of the Guru was an essential part of their relationship with them. They were young men, inexperienced, and he was sending them on a mature assignment that required both transcendental and worldly expertise. Actually, the word guru means heavy. The guru must be heavy with the disciple. They must discipline the disciple so that they can become a nice devotee of Krishna. It said that everyone eventually should have some bona fide guru. If you don't have a guru and you just switch from person to person, you won't get to a conclusion. But if you accept one guru, for example, Prabhupada, and Prabhupada's disciples, if you accept one as your guru, for example, Radha Mohan Prabhu, his guru is Radhanath Maharaj, a disciple of Prabhupada. If you accept that one guru, you'll come to a conclusion of all Vedic understanding. So it's important for guru to be there. Serving as Prabhupada's menial messengers and workers, his disciples imbibed his gravity, and they too became heavy. They too became dedicated servants of their guru. To bungle an important order because of his naivete or carelessness would be a spiritual disqualification. Prabhupada had often told them, a Vaishnava is not a retired person who only sleeps and eats and chants Hare Krishna. Rather, a Vaishnava fights for Krishna, as did Arjuna and Hanuman. And as the devotee tries his best, working in full surrender, Krishna supports and protects him.
That's a very important thing.
Shall I say again?
Bhakti doesn't mean just, relaxing, just eat nicely and sleep, and read few books, that is bhakti. No, bhakti means proper seva. you open temples, you preach, invite people, train people, always busy. Prabhupada at the age of 70, going world to country. He should have just stayed at Vrindavan, and be relaxed. But no, he's going everywhere. And it is said that, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that anybody, who makes any spiritual activity in this human birth, it stays there forever with them. Like karma. If we give somebody a charity, or give some food to an animal, it is nice activity. It will give result, in this life or some other lifetime. You will get some nice good vibes, you will be more rich, more. So that is karma. Good activity, good result comes. But after you had good activity and good result has come, no, that is over. Now to get another, good result, good piety, you have to do some good karma. But if you do any spiritual activity, that result, it never exhausts. It's like a bank account. In a bank account, you put 10 pound. If you take 5 pound out, 5 pound remains. But if you do spiritual deposit of 10 pound, after 10 pound, you withdraw 5 pound, still 10 pound remains. If you deposit 5 pound, withdraw 5 pound, still 10 pound remains. So once it is credited, it never goes debit. However much you draw, it never goes. Nice investment, no? This bank account we should have. So any spiritual activity, once you chant Hare Krishna, even today, like now, say this 1 minute, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. These seconds of doing spiritual activity stays with us forever. Our spiritual credit is increased. Nobody can decrease it, no matter what happens. This credit has increased. It never goes down. So, these devotees, what they are doing here, this is the greatest activity. If you spend our life in spiritual activity, our life is perfect. And Krishna says, at the end of the life, if you are not pure enough, Krishna will give you another birth as human. You can carry on where you left off. So you never get lost. And if we perfect our life in this lifetime, next lifetime, going back to Krishna in Vrindavan, herding cows with him. And playing Krishna, you can, Prabhupada, earlier, he mentioned, that you can see Krishna face to face, like we are seeing each other. You can see Krishna face to face, if you are sincere and serious. Who like to see Krishna face to face? You? Yeah. Want to carry on?
Dawn arrived and time for Prabhupada's morning walk. The cold September night shrouded the morning in heavy fog. Some of the low-lying grounds were waterlogged this time of the year, and even the higher plots, the long grass, would remain wet until mid-morning. This climate, Prabhupada admitted, is not at all suitable for me. But, having heard of the beauty of the grounds, he insisted on taking his usual morning walk. Tittenhurst dated back to the 1770s, when the estate had been renowned for its many varieties of trees and shrubs, one of the most unusual collections in England. Even now, cypresses, weeping beech, Austin poplars, royal palms, redwoods, varieties of pines and monkey puzzle trees, and orchards of cherry and apple graced the stately grounds. One, cypress, stood more than 125 feet tall, and the redwoods grew even taller. Bushes and vines grew in the dense thickets. Close by the main house were hundreds of rhododendrons, a formal rose garden and several fountains. The estate had its own lake, stocked with goldfish and perch, and at the far end of the property stood a row of greenhouses for grapes and peaches. Designed so as to be the abloom in every season, the grounds had been carefully kept for generations. A recent owner, having employed more than 20 gardeners, John, however, was deliberately allowing the grass to go uncut. I wonder how it is today. Prabhupada walked out into the morning mist onto the long wet grass. Dressed almost entirely in black, he wore a Russian hat with earmuffs and black rubber Wellington boots. A black full-length overcoat given him by the devotees in Germany, covered in robes and sweater, leaving only glimpses of saffron cloth. As Prabhupada walked, accompanied by several of his disciples, he passed a fountain near the main house and entered a grove. The path narrowed, with vines and bushes close in, and led them into an open meadow, once a well-tended lawn, but now a field of high grass. Bulldozers had excavated an area which, according to rumor, would soon be a helicopter landing field. At the bottom of the sloping meadow, Prabhupada entered an orchard. Many leaves had fallen from the trees, and the sun's first rays now revealed shavings of autumn gold at Prabhupada's feet. He stood under one of the trees, and the diffused sunlight made the sky beyond the branches glow golden. In my childhood, he said, there were so many names given to me. My maternal uncle called me Nandu because I appeared the day after Krishna appeared, and there was a great celebration on that day. I was called Nandu because I was born the day after Krishna, and I was also called Govardhan. One of my sisters used to call me Kacha. I've been called so many names. As children, we were all very beautiful. There are always so many names given to them, but all these names, they are all dead and gone. He turned and began to walk again, saying nothing more on the subject. Prabhupada mentioned the British economy, which he said was sinking into the sea because of the pound's devaluation. So many British lords had gained their wealth by exploiting other nations. Now, having exhausted their good karma, they are suffering the results of their sins. They are too poor to maintain their great estates. They used to have 17 men working full-time just on the garden. Prabhupada exclaimed, and now they cannot even pay the taxes. So they have to give the whole thing up, and it is falling into the hands of the Shudras and the working class men. Ishana asked Prabhupada, how is it that a person like me from such a degraded background can come to Krishna consciousness? Because you are intelligent, Prabhupada replied. I don't understand. Because you are intelligent, Prabhupada repeated. Ishana's wife, Vibhavati, asked, what is the meaning of spiritual master? Actually, I am not your spiritual master, Prabhupada replied. That title is simply a formality. You should think of me as your spiritual father, your eternal father. As they walked past the tractor, Kula Shekhar remarked, the tractor is a very wonderful invention, isn't it? Prabhupada turned to Kula Shekhar. This tractor is the downfall of the Indian village system. Why is that? It does the work of 10 men. Yes, Prabhupada said. Previously, the young men of the village would be engaged in plowing the field. Then this tractor came along and did the work of all those young men, and they had nothing to do. So they went to the cities to try and find work, and they fell into illusion. Stopping beside a clump of yellowed grass, Prabhupada asked, why is this yellow grass different? No one answered. The other grass is green, he said, but this is yellow. What is the reason? Still, no one answered. This yellow grass is drying up, Prabhupada explained, because the roots are not attached, therefore it is yellow. Similarly, when we detach ourselves from Krishna, then we will dry up. They walked to a spot where the grass grew almost 6 feet high, stopping at a path the tractor had cut. Prabhupada smiled. Oh, we can go through there. And he strode ahead with his cane into the head-high jungle of grass and weeds. He walked until he came to a low hill. that he had cleared, and he stopped. As he stood there, surrounded by the sea of grass and a few disciples, Kulashekar asked about the song Prabhupada had been singing earlier this morning. The song, Prabhupada said, it is about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would rise and he would go out at this time of the morning when the sun had risen but is not yet in the sky. As Prabhupada spoke, the mist was already dissipating and the golden glow in the sky had moved higher above the horizon. Prabhupada raised his hands and swayed from side to side. In this way, he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would dance in the morning. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So enjoy the reading? Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah. First time today Mataji here? Okay. From Stoke? Okay. What's your name? Lakshmi. Is with you? Yeah. Your son? Yeah. What's your name? Abhijit. Oh, you're from Bengal? Oh, you know, how do I know? Because I have a friend who's called Abhijit and he's from Bengal. Thank you for coming today. You know, we are just a day after, Prabhupada's appearance yesterday. Yes. So, we had a big festival yesterday, so everybody is relaxing today. So today we are, generally we are 50, 60 on Sundays, but today, because of a festival yesterday, we are a bit less today. Yeah. So thank you for coming today, and maybe hopefully you can come every Sunday. And oh, really? Okay. Yeah. You can join our WhatsApp group. WhatsApp group will get everything. So when you're on your way out, on the door, if you can see, there's a scan code is there. You can join the WhatsApp group, then you get all the information. Okay, so we'll finish now. We'll do one Narsimha Dev prayers, and then we'll go for the prasadam.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlada Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Srila Tankana Kalaye Srila Tankana Kalaye Ito Narsimho Parato Narsimho Ito Narsimho Parato Narsimho Yato Yamitato Narsimho Yato Yamitato Narsimho Bahir Narsimho Hridaya Narsimho Bahir Narsimho
Narasimhamadim saranam prapadye. Narasimhamadim saranam prapadye. Tavakara kamalavari nakam adbhuta shringam Dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam Keshavadrita narahari rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Keshavadrita narahari rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Jayo Narsimhadev, Jayo Narsimhadev, Jayo Narsimhadev, Jayo Narsimhadev. Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Shri Vigna Vinash Shri Lakshmi Singhadev Bhagwan ki Jai Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Mahaprasade
स्वल्पपुण्यावृतं राजन् विश्वासो नैव्रजायते शरीरारविद्याजाल जड़ेन्द्रिय ताहेकार जीवे फैले विषय सागरे तार मध्य जीवाति लोभो माय सुदुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय खोरी बार जीव जाय सप्रसादन दिलो भाई शयन नामृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे राखो श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Gokulanand Srila Prabhupada Mahaprasadam Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now let's honor Prasadam upstairs. Hare Krishna.